Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Product Management with Money. And in today's video chapter, I'm going to share a topic which is very important. And a couple of you have reached out to me asking offline, how can we transition from an engineering background to product or technical to product? So let's talk about it a little bit. And if you are an engineer thinking about moving into product management, this video is for you. I will be sharing proper roadmap after this video in the link. Feel free to go ahead, download it. No gatekeeping. I have seen developers, QAs, tech leads, business analysts, and a couple other transitions that all try to get into product management. They have one thing in common: they are skilled at their current job, but they have no idea if they can actually do PM. So they're worried they may mess it up. Good news is, no, you don't need to mess it up. You just need a good plan and stick to it. And that's exactly what we are going to work through this video today. So let's hop on. So let's talk about first thing why this transition is so hard. You have been solving problems with code, quality, technical depth. That's made you excellent at your work and the respective job, but PMing is different. And what usually happens is developers bring code first thinking. They want to build elegant solutions, but customers don't care about how elegant it is, how deep it is. They care about the problem being solved. That's the first gap. If I'm not able to add image or video to review, if I'm not able to add more than 100 characters in a review, those all are problems. And as PM, you don't want to code first. You want to analyze and fix the problem first. Second, QAs in the quality engineers bring perfection first thinking. They want to find every edge case, ship with zero bugs. But PM shipping is about speed over perfection. You launch good enough and then learn through the tests. That is a second gap. For business analysts, they bring requirement gathering thinking. They listen, they document, build specs, but PMing is about saying no where it is important. More requirements doesn't mean more value. That means the gap, the third gap. Now, tech leads coming to the team, they bring team first thinking. They optimize for delivery, for capacity, for team velocity, but PM optimizes for customer outcome. So sometimes they are different things, and that is the fourth gap. So looking at the four gaps, or sorry, four paths converging to PM, all of these are smart. All of these made you great at your current job, and none of them prepared you for PM. So here is one question: how do you bridge those gaps in 60 days, right? Let's work on that portion first. So in 60 days, I have broken down into phases, and it's organized into five, 2 weeks each phases, plus a final assessment for each week. And each phase has a specific goal. Each week builds on the last one. So please do pay attention when you put it down in your spreadsheet to build those case studies. Phase one, foundation. That is your week 1 to week 2. Your first 2 weeks are about context. You need to understand your company's strategy, your roadmap, your OKRs. You need to know your market. You need to meet people who will work with you. So here you can see week 1 to 2 activities under phase one. So week one, what you're going to do is you will look into your document strategy, map your competitive landscape, meet with your sales, customer success, your leadership, read the industry reports on your space, define what success looks like. How you can start on this is, if you're transitioning from engineering to product, try to shadow a PM on your team. Ask your manager if they can pair you up with a product owner or product manager to get some hands on, get comfortable with the language, or shadow them for 1 quarter of delivery and see how all these activities go throughout the quarter, how the planning work, how the vision and strategy work, how the team resources bandwidth planning work, how the releases work, the rollbacks work. So it's very important to build that network internally first, to shadow the PMs and learn that task by hand. Week two, you will analyze three competitors deeply. You can do it on your own, or you can take help of any of the LLMs to build these three research on these three competitors, and do five real customer interviews if you can. You can get in touch with people on LinkedIn, you can interview them on the other social media chats, and you have to do the 5 real interviews, review your last 3 quarters of product decisions, and understand the reasoning. Attend the strategy meetings, or at least shadow your leadership for the strategy meetings, and write 1 minute meeting or memo on the strategy question. So here the goal for week 1 and week 2 is to internalize the strategy, not read it. You have to internalize it. By end of 2 weeks you understand why your company makes the decision it makes. You are not working anything out here. You are learning, you're adapting, you're getting comfortable around the language, the ask, the need, and the delivery. So you're not delivering anything, you are just shadowing for week 1 and week 2. Here for the phase 2, if we are looking at, phase 2 is for customer reality learning, that is week 3 and 4. Now you're shifting to customers. You are going to shadow couple of sales calls, say 2 sales call. You will watch the support. Who are your users really? Not who do we think they are, who are they actually? That is very important. In week 3, you will analyze your top 5 features. Who uses them? Why? What's the job they are doing? What gaps are you hearing repeatedly? What do customers ask for 3 times? Right? It's very important to understand the voice of customer and the feedback that you're getting real time in your reviews, in your emails, in your calls, in your write-ups. So pay attention to that. uh, Usually in every company they have a weekly review with voice of customer notes and feedback that they get, or at least bi-weekly or monthly, whatever the cadence is at your company. You can shadow the voice of customer calls and listen in what is coming directly from the field. So it's very important to pair up with your sales team or customer success team and understand what's happening. Week 4, you are going to define 5 problems your product solves. Rank them by revenue impact. It's very important. These things have to be prioritized by revenue and finance impact. Map your user journeys for your top 2 use cases in this exercise. Identify 3 high impact improvements and present your findings to the leadership. You can present uh, in async call, or you can take 5 minutes from your product discussions call, the monthly connects, and showcase what you have learned so far. The goal here is move from theory to reality. You see the customer and you see what matters. So it's very important for you to get into the weeds and roots and start adapting to that language and vision. Let's move on to the next one. Okay, let's get into next phase. And here, what I'm sharing is in phase 3, that is your prioritization phase for week 5 and 6. This is where most engineers get uncomfortable because there is no right answer to it. So, week 5, what are you going to do is you're going to shadow your PM and learn how decisions actually get made in your company, and understand the budget constraints, study the last 2 roadmaps, and understand what changed and why. What are your company's strategic bets against those changes? In week 6, on basis of week 5 learnings, in week 6, what you're going to do is you will build a prioritization framework. Like, how would you prioritize the backlog? Work with your product manager and create a simple scoring model for these top 10 ideas in your backlog. Pressure test against the leadership priorities for that quarter or that half of the year, and then present your logic. Everything has to be data backed. If you just say my gut feeling is this would be a good potential on revenue, still everything lives with data. If you're not presenting your logic with data backed findings, hypothesis validations, it will be incomplete picture for your stakeholders to understand. The goal here is to get comfortable with judgment calls that have imperfect information. Let me repeat, imperfect information, because that's what PMs do. And let's look into phase 4 now. Now let's look into phase 4. What's happening here? Now you own something real. This is ownership phase, week 7 to 2, sorry, 10, 7 to 10. Now you own something, like not in a project, but a feature from concept through launch. you can shadow your PM and lead cross functional meetings. You can shadow and write specs that engineers actually use. You deal with real conflicts between functions and you solve it, and you document your decision making. This is something that will help you communicate and understand the language. Plus, you present to the team and you write updates explaining the why behind those decisions. Now you are ready to do a customer presentation. The goal for phase 4 is to ship something, influence people without authority, and see what it feels like to be responsible for the outcomes, not just execution. Because as an engineer or as a quality perfectionist, you may be blindsided with the delivery of just getting it out of the gate, but now you are shipping something that is actually going to be used by consumer right there and influence their decisions. So you have to understand the responsibility of these outcomes. Let's look into phase 5 real quick. Let's get into phase 5 now, real quick here. And for phase 5, we are focusing on strategy. For the strategy, weeks 11 to 12. By week 11, you should be ready to think big, and you should be close to or be able to write a strategy document for your product area. Plus, you should be able to propose 3 strategic moves here, and you identify and or prepare to identify what your team can do well and where you compete. And then you work with your team that you're shadowing with your maybe senior PM or PM. You put your data, hypothesis, and ideas all together, and then you present it to leadership and defend your choices. Why you're proposing it, what is a potential revenue around it, what is the impact and cost and revenue both. Then you assess and look at it. Did you make the mindset shift now? Can you explain that decision you made that 40% of people disagreed with? Can you defend it anyway? If yes, you are done. If not, we are moving to next set for mindset shift. So let's look at that. Okay, now we are on to our section 3, the mindset shifts. What happens here is uh, across these 60 days, you're not learning just to become a PM. You are unlearning your old role. And if you're a developer, you're moving from write beautiful code to define the problem worth solving. If you are a QA, then you're moving from find all the bugs to ship good enough and learn. If you are a business analyst and you're moving from gather all the requirements to choose practically what matters, compare your revenue, compare your data and numbers, and then you choose. And if you're a tech lead, you're moving from optimize the team delivery to optimize your customer outcome. That is what we are going to focus and shift here. So this is all mindset shift. All of these are same shift at the core, but from executing someone else's vision to defining your own, that is where we are headed to. That's hard, and that's why you need mentorship, and that's why you can't do this alone. And your mentor, maybe your team lead or your product manager or anybody in your team or company who are letting you upskill on this, they're holding up a mirror. They're asking you hard questions. They're pushing you when you fall back into old patterns. They're saying, that's great engineering thinking. Now tell me why it matters to business. So by week 4, I think you will know if you can make the shift. If you cannot, your team will tell, or your mentor or your product manager whom you're shadowing, they will tell you. If you can, they will push you harder for the next level. So I think that's what matters most. So here your pair programming comes into the picture with your PMs. So I would highly advise, if you can pair up with your product manager and shadow them for at least one full project for quarter, that would be a game changer in your mindset shift. Let's look at the next one. So now in this final check, I really wanted to share why this matters now. So I want to be clear about why I built this plan and why it matters. The PM job market has shifted a lot, and companies are looking for product leaders who understand technology too. So, not process experts, not MBA generalists, but people who have actually built things, people who have debugged systems, people who have felt the weight of quality and deployment pressure. So your engineering background is your competitive advantage if you flip your mindset right. That's the keyword. If you flip your mindset right. A lot of engineers fail at PM not because they cannot think strategically, but they fall because they never unlearn their old role. They keep thinking like engineers. They show up to PM meetings and optimize for the wrong thing. So this 60-day plan will help you prevent that and force your mindset shift. It puts you in a situations where your engineering thinking gets you in trouble, and it teaches you think differently. By day 60, you will know if PM is for you, and if it is, you will have the foundation to succeed already. So if you're serious about this transition and you need more than a framework, you need to understand PM thinking. You need case studies. You need to see how real decisions get made. That's why I am writing on Substack and LinkedIn every week, publishing detailed frameworks and articles. I'm not gatekeeping anything. All the foundational articles are available up there on my handles, Product Management with Money. Every week, I publish deep insights on product strategy, execution, on the AI frameworks, or how engineering leaders can lead product without losing their technical edge. I do write about how PMs actually think. It's different than what you think. The specific mistakes each engineering background makes in PM, or how to build PM judgment when you have no experience, or how to influence without authority when people do not understand you, or how to know if PM is right for you before you are too far in. So go subscribe to Product Management with Money on YouTube, Substack, and LinkedIn. It's free. I publish every week. And if you found this framework useful, send me a note, leave me your questions in comments, and tell me what engineering background you're coming from. Tell me which phase scares you most. I read every response and I will be replying to you. And one bottom line, you can make this transition. Let me tell you, you have the right foundation. You just need the right path. And now you have it. So the question is if you are ready to walk it, right? See you in the next one.